guys come back for whatever reason?
He,
You
but
ran out of
we
gas.
cut back because he when he got his doctorate.
And you were done.
Yeah.
And then you came back to the U.S. straight back.
Yeah.
When you came back, where did you go?
He got a job at Howard University.
So you came back to D.C.
He came,
That's why you're here. That's why you know all these people. Oh, this makes sense now. Okay, so you came back to D.C. And when you're in D.C., what made you decide? How did you get into this idea of this magazine? Like, how did this even come about?
So when I came back, I have skills.
Yeah.
Typing and shorthand, remember that. So
Special set of skills.
BET started in 1980. Okay.
What?
1980.
I was born in '78. I thought it started like when I was in like my teens.
No.
Okay.
So what happened? I have skills. So I registered at a company. They send you out to, they
Like a temp agency.
Yeah,
or
a
something.
temp agency.
Yeah.
And they told me about this company, Black Entertainment Television. I went there. They had so many people in there that couldn't type. They couldn't take shorthand. I mean, they were just a subpar. And so when I came in there, I used to be a court reporter. I studied court reporting. I mean, those little letters they gave me and typing how they line things up.
There's nothing. For you.
And they were like, Bob wasn't there. Bob Johnson was the owner, but he wasn't there when I came in. But when I came, but they said, "Can you come back in 3 days?"
Okay.
And I did. And Bob said, he was like, "Everybody here is excited about you. They just think you're the best."
I think you're the best too. But go ahead.
He said,
"You are the best."
He said, "Is there anything that you can't do?" I said, "I haven't found anything that I can't do."
Sold. And then he said, "Let's go."
He said, "Take this letter." And I took the letter. Flawless. They had people in there erased, misspelled words, the paper's not clean, the smudgy or whatever, it was just.
It was a wreck.
And he said, okay, you're hired. And I worked for him and in the advertising department, and they started branching out.
How many employees did you have when you started?
I think there was about eight or nine.
8 of you, okay.
He was only producing black football, college football shows, and then and everything else was in the can. But they started with their own. They wanted to do their own show, so Video Soul.
Video Soul.
They started with Video Soul, and so
I caught up to you.
He asked me. He said, "You can stay here with me, and but or you can go into production." And I wanted to go into production.
Just like that.
And then I started.
How long have you been working before you went in production?
About an hour. I mean, not an hour.
An hour. I can see that though. You're smart.
About a year and a half. About a year.
So you went into production, and then from there you did what in production? What do you do? I don't even know what production is.
I wrote the TV show Video Soul from Danny Simpson.
You produced Video Soul. I didn't know that. Okay.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. Why is that not like written down somewhere? Like, yeah.
It probably is written in there somewhere.
You have too many I can't dig that deep. Okay, so you produced Video Soul. That was your first thing you produced, and then how did we get to like the 106 and Park stuff and like all the what did you?
Okay, well, the Video Soul. I mean, there was some jealousy and some things going on in. See, they gave me Video Soul. That means they gave me the music industry. That means that I got all the artists coming in. So through booking all these artists, I became friends with, also the record label executives. And so when I started with Sister to Sister, I had a income advertising source because they were getting a lot of money. The black music divisions were just developing at that time, and a lot of money was being poured into.
So you were just there at the.
I was at the right time.
At the cusp of this thing. So you were there like when NWA was getting like off the ground and like real hip hop.
Donnie Simpson was
all that. Donnie Simpson, yes.
And I was his producer. So whoever came in there to do for Video Soul, there was a producer before me, but then he was let go. So I had to take over the show.
So you're just taking people's jobs away.
I just took it away.
And they're worried about the Mexicans. They should be
worried about me.
Yeah. Well, I guess my job is safe because I don't have one.
You don't have a
So
job.
this is it.
Well, let me
You're gonna
see
take
if I
my
can
job?
find
Good
something.
luck.
Well,
Go
let
ahead.
me-
You're gonna
no,
interview
let me
yourself?
see
You
if I
would
can find
you would try to
something.
interview
I
yourself because
would.
you tried that earlier. So now Video Soul.
So I have a lot of power now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
and-
still have a lot of power because you're still cutting me off. So I'm just kidding. You're trying to interview yourself. I know. So I could do this too. I could.
Well, you taking
I don't
too
need
long.
you.
I mean, Jesus Christ. People don't have all day.
We got 3 hours.
They don't.
Okay, you're right. So listen. So get me to. So now you got this Rolodex. You've been doing Video Soul. What did you produce after Video Soul?
Well, no.
Or did you start Sister to Sister right after Video Soul?
When I left BET,
So you left after Video Soul and started Sister to Sister.
yeah.
What made you leave Video Soul? There was a lot.
Well, BET was growing. It was doing really, really well. But I was not one of the favorites. You know, I was, but when you work for a company, you know, you got girls that come in that the boss might like that person better than you,
Yeah.
but, you know, and that
Young blood comes in.
Yeah,
And,
but I had a lot of pushback. It was a lot of jealousy
of course.
there, and I kind of just got really tired of it.
Yeah.
I didn't get tired of interviewing the artists.
You enjoyed your work. It's just the.
I love my work,
Yeah.
but this is the difference.
Yeah.
I would not only interview the artists, but I would also interview their families, and I would go to their picnics, and I would go to their weddings and stuff. I spent time because I was in.
So you're real close.
I would get
That's
closer.
why you wanted to meet my family. My family's crazy. You don't want to meet
So
them.
am I.
I left them like an hour ago. I was like, I gotta go hang out with Jamie. I'm out of here.
So you
Yeah.
went to a crazy
Yeah.
person.
I went to a crazier situation. Yeah. So you left there, and because of the craziness there, but you enjoyed what you were doing.
I enjoyed what I was doing, but I didn't see where I would be elevated. People have their favorites. I was not a favorite. I was well.
I don't believe that.
But I was well thought of and respected by Bob Johnson.
Did you call him Bob all the whole time? Was it Bobby
He was
ever?
always
or just always
Bob. I call him Bob.
Mr. Bob? Mr. Bob.
What I call him? No,
I like
just
Mr.
call him
Bob.
No,
Just
it
call him
wasn't
Bob?
just about. He's not a toy. Why would
Yeah,
not
you're
call
right.
him
Mr. Bob is not
No.
cool.
Bob is
Mr.
serious too.
I would just call him Mr. Johnson. That's even more serious.
No, it was a casual. His sister worked there. Polly worked there. We were only
Family,
like
it's
8
like a
people.
family business. It's
It
like
was
this, and
only 8 people in the beginning.
it was fun. It sounds like fun. Because where did you guys start at? It was like in a, was it like like
We
in
worked
the
at-
basement or in
no,
the garage?
we worked
like
at DC, a local TV station here. He rented some space there.
Okay. That's
Okay,
what you guys
we
did.
were in an office building when we first started. Then we got some space over at this facility, but it was, because we were growing fast. I mean, we were the only ones really doing anything BET, and so we were only 8 or 9 people, so I had to be secretary. I had to write the shows. I had to look at the videos. I had to time them out. I had to write the questions. I had to book the artists. I had to make sure that they ate and took care of them.
You were like a Jamaican. You were like working like 3 jobs. Like, what is this? This is like overtime. That's a lot of work.
No, everybody worked by 14, 15 hours. It was just expected.
How did your husband feel about this? He never saw you.
Yeah, well, my husband was really busy too, but
he
saw
had
me.
the boys with him though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we worked it out. The boys were in school, and it was still like 9 to 5. It wasn't late
It
hours.
wasn't too crazy. You
but-
got to come home for dinner.
I
Right?
came home from dinner, but what I did was, you have to always pay attention to who's around the artist. Why is that artist there, and who made it so? And so I was always very close to the people who brought the artists.
Okay.
These are people who were the promoters in the city, local promoters taking the artists to one station to another, and then I would be one of the stops where I'll, interview that artist also. And when my husband and I decided to have a magazine.
But how did that come about? Was it because
I
of
left
the
BET.
crazy? But it was the craziness. You needed some time. Because this is now you're going to be working crazier hours, right? Because you're working on your own with your family,
Right.
with your husband. So was it because, first of all, it was already crazy at BET. They were growing. You're probably like, I'm assuming they don't need me anymore. And
I didn't think that I would grow anymore because I was not one of the favorites.
Okay.
You can see that, you know.
You did your time.
Yeah.
You reached your capacity.
You know, Bob had mad respect for me and everything, but I'm not one of his favorites. I mean, you know, they're who's who. These are Washingtonians. I'm not from Washington.
Yeah,
I'm Chicago.
You're
you
a
know.
mob. You could have called your mob buddies down to take out his other favorites.
Yeah.
You could have done that.
No, I couldn't do that.
I think you could have.
No.
All right. Well, it's a good thing you didn't, because we wouldn't be having this conversation.